Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and the latest roundup of wrestling game news, where today we're talking what the future holds for WWE 2K24. Following the recent WWE releases and the UFC merger, we have a new locker code for WWE 2K23, new footage of the upcoming Ultra Pro Wrestling, and then over on the AEW side, we have a new patch update and some DLC previews ahead of the final DLC pack. So let's start out with AEW Fight Forever, as we have some preview footage of the upcoming Hookhausen Very Handsome, Very Evil pack, as the AEW game's social accounts have released the new entrance videos showcasing both Hook and Danhausen, as well as announcing the release date for the pack as Thursday, September 28th. So far, the reception of the previews has been pretty positive, with many praising both Hook and Danhausen's models, as these look to be some of the best that the game has to offer, which is a far cry from last month's DLC that brought us the bunny. As of right now, the Hookhausen pack is the final DLC for Fight Forever, at least in terms of what was announced prior to launch, though there is a lot of speculation that a new set of DLC could be announced in the near future, as some of the promotional material at launch listed the Season Pass as a Season 1 pass, so depending on how well the game sold, or how well the DLC sold, then there's a good chance that we could see a Season 2. If there is a Season 2, then that does bring up the question of whether or not that would be covered under the original Season Pass, as listings for the Deluxe Edition didn't include any mention of the Season Pass being Season 1 only, so it'll be interesting to see what AEW do, and whether any new DLC will be included with that original Season Pass, as if it isn't, I expect a lot of people will be annoyed, especially those that forked out extra money for the Deluxe Edition under the impression that all DLC would be included. Staying with AEW, alongside the DLC preview, this week also seen the release of a new patch update, with this patch bringing with it a ton of fixes, as the developers have addressed more than 40 problems in total, with these covering everything from menu updates to gameplay changes, as it's a pretty comprehensive list, so if you're interested to find out what that includes, I'll leave a link to the patch notes in the video description. Up next, we're talking Ultra Pro Wrestling, which is an indie game in the style of the classic Nintendo 64 wrestling games like No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000, as it recently held a special showcase event to show off some new alpha footage. In the showcase, which I'll leave a link to the full version in the video description, we got a look at some new trailer footage showing off the cinematic reveal of Blue Collar Bill Dolla, with the video then going on to showcase his entrance, along with match gameplay of Bill against SOB. Watching the gameplay, you can definitely see how the game was inspired by the likes of No Mercy, as the game takes on a very similar look and feel, with a lot of the moves and the sound effects bearing a striking resemblance to those on the N64. Alongside the gameplay reveal, the UPW showcase also seen the announcement of 30 real-world stars that are set to join the game as DLC. These stars include Matt Cardona, Chris Candido, Brian Clark, The Blue Meanie, Demolition's Axe and Smash, The Masked Superstar and Crusher Khrushchev, Arn Anderson, Nova, Francine, Louis Piccoli, Al Snow, Too Cold Scorpio, Gangrel, Canyon and Mortis, Crowbar, Buff Bagwell, Bull Nakano, Glacier, Brother Devon, Warhorse, Sandman, Hayabusa, Dynamite Kid, Tito Santana, The Powers of Pain with Warlord and Barbarian, Jim Duggan, Jake Roberts, and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. So that's 30 stars that you'll be able to download as DLC to add to the game's base roster of 95 original characters. Finally, let's talk WWE 2K, starting with 2K23, as 2K have released a new locker code for MyFaction, which is said to have come in response to criticism regarding the mode's live events, as a lot of the events can only be entered if you have a specific card, and to get those cards, you need to open packs. So to help address that problem, 2K have put together a new locker code that gifts the player 4 themed card packs, with these packs containing a chance at obtaining the cards needed for the upcoming events. To unlock these cards, players can enter the locker code MELODONTMISS, which will then grant you 4 packs, with these including a Face Paint Frenzy pack, a Money in the Bank pack, WrestleMania Backlash pack, and a Night of Champions pack. As I mentioned earlier, these packs don't guarantee that you will get the cards you need, which does kind of defeat the purpose, as it would have made more sense to release a locker code that guaranteed that you would get at least one card for the upcoming events. Next up, let's talk WWE 2K24, as following the completion of the WWE and UFC merger, it's brought about a lot of questions regarding WWE 2K24 and how the merger will impact it. One of the biggest questions has been whether 2K will continue to make WWE video games, or whether the merger could see EA take over, with the speculation being that TKO could opt to strike a deal with a single publisher to have them create both WWE and UFC video games. From the people I spoke to about this, there doesn't seem to be any worries about EA taking over, as 2K signed a new multi-year deal with the WWE following the success of 2K22, so there doesn't seem to be anything that suggested changes in the works, as the contracts are already in place. Looking at the merger in a more positive light, one benefit that was brought up was the possibility of talent exchange, as now that WWE and UFC are under the same banner, it's possible that we could see WWE stars appearing in the UFC games, as Fightful Select recently spoke to UFC's developers about the possibility of WWE stars appearing in the UFC game, and it was confirmed that EA's devs did reach out about the possibility of including stars, though at the time it was prior to the merger being completed, so the talks were put on hold. If the merger does allow for WWE stars to appear in UFC, then the obvious names are Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey, though they could also be joined by other names like Shayna Baszler and Matt Riddle, who both appeared in UFC prior to WWE. Bobby Lashley is also a possible name, given his time in Strikeforce, which is now owned by the UFC, and then you've also got other stars like Sonya Deville, who has also competed in MMA. Going the other way, there's also the possibility of UFC stars appearing in a WWE 2K game, as the merger could allow for the likes of Conor McGregor to appear in 2K24. While the takeover won't change the publisher or the developer, one change it will cause is a roster change, as this week seen WWE announce a whole host of roster cuts, many of which were stars that appeared in 2K23 and were expected to appear in 2K24, though given their release and the fact that the developers have around 6 months until 2K24 releases, it's likely that those stars will now be cut. To run through the release stars that appeared in 2K23, these include Aliyah, Commander Azeez, Dana Brooke, Dolph Ziggler, Elias, Mace, Mansoor, Mustafa Ali, Rick Boogs, Riddick Moss, Top Dolla, Shanky and Shelton Benjamin. Going through the list, it's likely that the majority of these names will be cut from the roster, though it's impossible to say for sure, as previous games have seen release stars retained due to them being featured prominently in the likes of the 2K Showcase or within storylines in My Rise. Of the list, the most likely name to remain is Dolph Ziggler, as after spending 19 years in the company and being featured in a lot of high-profile moments, there's a good chance that he could be featured within Showcase mode, similar to how he appeared in 2K22's Rey Mysterio Showcase, or as we've seen with Tyler Breeze last year, Ziggler could also appear as a legend. Should he not make it, then 2K24 would be the first game in 13 years to not feature Dolph Ziggler, a run that dates back all the way to SmackDown vs Raw 2010. So I'll end by saying that at the moment, any roster cuts for 2K24 are pure speculation given how far we are from the release date, but we should know a lot more come January when promotion for the game tends to begin. So that's the latest roundup of wrestling game news. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to stay up to date with all the latest goings on, then please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. Until next time though, thank you so much for watching this video, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.